For this episode of Solo in the Sierra, I will be climbing Mount Williamson, one of California's 14,000 foot peaks. I have always wanted to climb in the Sierra after hearing stories about them from my father. He would tell of their stark granite peaks, sweet water, and crisp mountain air. In the 80s, he backpacked much of the Sierra, including summiting Mount Whitney multiple times. I did not know exactly when I would visit these mountains, but after being stationed in Monterey, California for grad school, I now have the opportunity for such. Now, Mount Williamson is located in the Eastern Sierra, and it's about a 7-hour drive from Monterey. In July, I managed to find time for this trip and was eager for what the Sierra would have to offer. So I just got to Shepherd's Pass trailhead. This is the trailhead that you will take to climb Mount Williamson and Mount Tyndall. These will be my first 2 California 14ers. So yeah, gonna start the hike up to, let's see, Shepherd's Pass or Anvil Camp. It's gonna be about at least 8 miles, 6,600 feet of elevation gain. Let's do this. The initial intent was to climb both Mount Williamson and Mount Tyndall across 2 days, with Williamson first, which is the more technical of the two. The route begins at Shepherd's Pass trailhead at 6,300 feet and then follows Sims Creek up the valley. After roughly a mile, you leave the creek behind and climb 54 switchbacks to a pass at 9,100 feet. You then drop about 500 feet, but quickly regain this loss as Anvil Campground is 3 miles away with 1,400 feet of elevation gain. To make it easier for tomorrow, I wanted to camp just a little higher, around 11,000 feet for the night. The next morning, I would reach Shepherd's Pass and then turn climbers left towards both summits. I would cross Williamson Bowl, then take the third-class west face route up to the summit of Mount Williamson. I would then descend, traverse the Williamson Bowl again, then take climbers left to the third-class North Rib route up to the summit of Mount Tyndall. This was quite the ambitious plan, especially for just a weekend. I don't want to spoil too much, but I will be back for Mount Tyndall. So here we have the first stream crossing. Water's pretty muddy, so a little bit of flash floods most likely. Sims Creek was washed out in many places from previous flash floods, which you can see from this vantage point. For about 25 minutes now, we've been climbing out of Sims Creek, which is down behind me in that valley. And we're going to go up and gain this ridge up here. Well, it just started thundering about a minute ago. Maybe get some of it on GoPro right now, but it feels good to hear thunder in the mountains again. It's been way too long. So we're still climbing out of the valley for Sims Creek. You can see the ridge right up there. At the top of the pass, I could see that the weather on Mount Williamson was far from ideal. Fresh hail had fallen on the summit, which could make for some difficult climbing if it did not all melt by tomorrow. Well, it has started hailing on me as I make my descent down into the valley here. Weather's kind of prepared for the worst. Welcome to California 14ers, baby! After about 30 minutes of rain and hail, the weather started to clear. As a result, the valley was much cooler now, which made the approach much more enjoyable. So Anvil Campground is probably another mile up there, about another 1,500 to 2,000 feet of elevation gain to go. Again, my first time being in the Sierras, and they have their own charm. It's honestly a slog to Anvil Campground, so about halfway, I decided to take a break and enjoy the views around me. Around 7 o'clock, I made the outskirts of Anvil Campground. I still had another hour and a few water crossings to go until I reached where I wanted to make base camp for the night. So we made it to base camp. It's a little bit below Shepherd's Pass. Shepherd's Pass is just probably another mile beyond that rock pile, another 1,000 feet of elevation gain. Check out the view. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous spot up here. You know, couldn't be more pleased. I mean, a nice huge rock to, let me get over here so you guys can see it. Nice huge flat rock to camp on. Don't have to disturb, you know, any plants. We're gonna get dinner going. It's pad thai.
Lightning falls, blue crack of light, that's all. Calling you to say
It's about 5:44. Just enjoying the sunrise here before I break camp and start heading up towards Mount Williamson and Mount Tyndall. So this valley that I'm in is so pretty. You can see two hikers. They're already starting up the pass. Moon up there. So yeah, let's get after it today. From base camp, it would be another mile and 1,000 feet of elevation gain to reach the top of Shepherd's Pass at 12,000 feet. So here we have the remaining part of Shepherd's Pass, probably about another 500 vertical feet. Woo! Top of the pass is right there. Another 100 feet or so. Woo! Here we got Mount Tyndall right up there. Mount Williamson is further behind that ridge, tucked back a little bit more. Super excited to finally see these peaks in person myself. The area above Shepherd's Pass was very barren. It was definitely a stark contrast to the Colorado Rockies, where significantly more vegetation grows, even above tree line. Woo! See Williamson, Tyndall. Williamson Bull is directly ahead. Hell yeah. This is absolutely gorgeous. Whew, at about 12,200 right now. Cruising along. Hell yeah. Seeing Mount Williamson up close for the first time was honestly intimidating, and I knew it would definitely be a change of pace from the easy hike up the day before. I actually met two hikers at the top of Williamson Bowl who turned back after seeing the peak. I was already nervous with this being my intro to high Sierra climbing, and seeing them turn back did not help. So we made it to the base.
The west chute goes up to that black rock and then goes between that little notch up there.
The west face follows a steep 45-degree gully, which eventually constricts to the crux of the route, a third-class chimney. Remember the hail from the day before? Well, it turns out not all of it had melted. This made climbing the third-class chimney pretty gnarly. To add to my woes, this was my first time climbing Sierra third class, which honestly felt like climbing Colorado fourth class. This meant that I had to stay dialed in to make it up the chimney safely.
Hello. Woo! Let's go! First California 14er, baby! Hell yeah!
The summit view from the top of Mount Williamson was unlike any other I have experienced and was truly rewarding. I began to realize that the Sierra are truly in a league of their own.
Pretty gassed. This is no joke. You literally start from that valley way down there, go up and over that lower ridge, all the way up Shepherd's Pass, and then gain the peak itself. So I think I'm gonna accidental today. It's not worth it. Plus it's already 10:50. Thunderstorms are supposed to roll in around 2. So it's best to play it safe. And also just how exhausted I am. So gonna get down shortly here after I have some lunch and just taking the nice views of the summit.